Hi guys, Samuel Lessen here with a few tips that you can instantly use to make any website a little bit better in terms of fonts, texts, and the way that you display your message basically. Now, the first three tips will be about how to introduce novelty and make your text a little bit more inviting to read. Because if you just have this massive wall of text, it will look very boring and also really uninviting, right? So the first tip to start off with is serve images to break up this kind of massive long texts. And the idea here is to just introduce a little bit of novelty, to invite the reader to read, and also provide a little bit more stimulus to him or her. And this way you will make the whole process a lot less tiring, and you just keep the aliveness in it a lot more. So serve a little bit of images. Doesn't need to be massive images every once in a while, but a little bit of left-right content does a lot. So you want to make sure that you do that. All right, second tip. Start a new paragraph every 3 or 4 lines. Now, this might seem ridiculous. Why would you start a new paragraph so often? You want to still convey your message, right? But we need to understand this is not school or university or wherever you're writing these long, massive essays. You're writing for people to actually read, and you're writing for the internet. So let's keep that in mind. In internet especially, people are very, attention spans are very short. So you want to make it as effortless as possible to read. And that's why you want to break it down to paragraphs. All right, tip number 3, lots of subheadlines. Now, what you need to understand is people don't actually read, they scan. So that's why it's important to have a lot of subheadlines all the time, because people scan and they really read in an F pattern. So the eyes on the left, they're looking for the information that they want to find. So make it as easy as possible for people to find that information. And subheadlines is the best way to do that. All right, so that's the breaking down these long forms of text. Now, regarding the fonts and the tip number 4, have a minimum of 16 pixels for your body font. And the reason for this is that you want your text to be readable on all devices. And even if you can read your text on your computer, these will show a little bit differently across devices. So you want to be able to have that text not only readable, but also very effortlessly readable. So people don't need to zoom in or out. So 16 pixels have proven themselves over and over again. Now let's say you have some kind of help text or something like that. You can go ahead and use 14 for that, but I wouldn't go any lower than 16 for the body font. All right. Then the last tip really is to just keep your line lengths pretty short. So you want to have between 50 and 75 characters. Definitely no more than 75 characters. So that is surprisingly short line. But if you are getting these long lines on desktops, on big screens, you really want to have a bigger font there, or just make it narrower. And the reason for this is people lose their lines, and it's very confusing if you're reading with a big screen and the screen is here, and it's very different from reading a book. So it's a lot easier to read your line again or skip a line, and that introduces a lot of cognitive load. It will make reading your text and your content a lot more complicated, a a little bit more effort there, and people associate that effort into the website and into the product itself. So you don't want to do any of that. All right, that's the tips. Hopefully you enjoy them. Make sure to implement them right away. They're really easy, and that's why I love these kind of rules. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more e-commerce related videos, and I will see you on the next one. Cheers.